Hi everyone, thanks so much for tuning in for today's video interview. Tony Restell here from Social Hire, and delighted today to be joined by Matt Warzel. Matt's going to be helping us think about how we can make ourselves more marketable as a candidate. So Matt, thanks so much for taking the time today. Do you want to just tell people about yourself and your business?
Yeah, thank you, Tony. I'm Matthew Warzel, president of MJW Careers, and essentially my focus is on a well-rounded job hunting experience for my clients, from resumes all the way through to job hunting techniques and anything in between, whether it's LinkedIn or various documents of the sort. So kind of a career coach, interview expert, and resume writer.
Fantastic. Well, lots of people in need of that help right now, so let's dive straight in. If you were advising job seekers today, what's essential for them to include in their CV, their resume, to get themselves to stand out in that crowded marketplace, what would be some of the things you would highlight?
Yeah, great question. Well, essentially, there is a look that you need to be mindful of. And anyone who's a hiring expert, whether it's recruiter, hiring manager, or resume writer like myself, it's that kind of 6-second test where when you see a resume, you know if it's either has the look of moving on and being able to, or I should say, having a look of being able to be interested enough to keep reading, or have the look where it's amateur hour, get it out of here. So play the game, and there is a rules to it. In a brief sense, I'm going to just list what you should have in terms of headers or sections, and then we can go from there, any sort of breakdown. But essentially, you're going to want contact information. You're going to want a summary. You're going to want some key skills. You're going to want an accomplishment section of the most important things you offer. Then you're going to want the experience. And then below that's going to fill out with the education, certification, licensure, and like affiliations, groups, volunteer, that kind of stuff all kind of goes at the bottom. The most important part is going to be your experience section and or the accomplishments, because that's your meat and potatoes. That is going to be all the value offerings you can provide to the hiring manager. And the more niche and targeted messaging towards that targeted role it is, the more beneficial it'll be for the readers, and the more excited they'll be to want to bring you in for an interview.
I'm guessing that means you would recommend a tailored CV or resume for each application that you would make for that very reason?
I do like that. And you can see the difference in the expertise all across the board. It's the same notion as, do you match the LinkedIn to the resume, which I say yes. But so don't take this for the end all be all advice. But my opinion is yes, because as a busy recruiter that I was in the past prior to my new resume writing full time, if I saw someone that says the same words that I have in the job description and says the same kind of accomplishments and value offerings that relate to this opening and kind of addresses my pain points as to why I have the opening, I'm going to be more excited than someone who's got a catch-all Jack and Jill of all trades resume, where it might work in a small business or a mom and pop shop, maybe, where you have an all-encompassing type of role. But if you're going for like a Google, and if they want a data analyst, you don't come to them and show them that you can do financial analyst and you can do business analysis and data analysis and you can do intelligence analysis. Keep it simple, but keep it poignant. And the more centered around what they have, like you said, the more tailored it is. I believe it's a benefit, just purely based on how busy these people are. And when they're going quick, and they start seeing stuff that kind of jives with what they have open, it gets them excited. I remember being excited having candidates like that.
Absolutely. So that leads us into an interesting question around career transition, career changes. There's obviously a lot of people having to go down that route at the moment because of what's happened to their own industry. Any particular additional advice you'd give for those kinds of candidates?
Absolutely. So again, it's kind of the same notion of what do you offer in terms of where you've been and what you can provide towards that targeted role. But for transferable folks that are career changers, it's a little bit different. You're going to have to take a little bit slightly using different words like aspiring sales professional rather than accomplished, because maybe you're coming from marketing and you want to get into sales. So now you're in aspiring sales or early career sales. You can use things like acquired knowledge of or gained insight into the sales process. Not saying you executed it. It just says you understand it. So you can kind of get manipulating with the words a little bit to kind of cover the red flags and make you look more of a valid candidate. But again, number one thing is don't fib as a career changer. Number two is learn. Industry publications, continue education, tap people in your network that are doing the work you want to do, whether it's LinkedIn or finding people by direct contact with the companies, whatever. But you need to be constantly working towards that new role, so then you're not relying on other people to just come to you and help you out. You got to take the bull, and you got to run and take the bull by the horns, and you got to go with it on your own and learn and understand to the point where maybe in 5 years you can be the one giving the advice. So to get there, what do you got to do? Read, digest, keep reading, learning what the heck's going on in that new world you want to be in. And then as you acquire the knowledge of these skills, maybe if they're not hands-on, tangible skills that you actually have done, but acquire the knowledge of, then you could start kind of putting those into your resume of being, hey, I know what this means and the processes and what it kind of does. I just haven't done it yet. So start using these types of insights that you gain as arsenal for your resume. And then also, if I would say go and again, with the LinkedIn thing, this is like the most emphasis out of all my clients I provide is using your network. People want to talk about themselves and what they do. So don't be shy, but offer something in return. Maybe you can ping someone about news that's relevant to their world or their job or their company or their competitors and say, hey, I know you work at XYZ and your competition just released this type of thing and it looks like it might impact your department. Just want to give you a heads up on some literature I was reading. And if you got some time, I'd love to pick your brain about maybe how I can become a valid candidate for that world you live in. Not asking them to look at a resume, not asking them for a job or an interview with a hiring manager. You're just asking them if you could pick their brain, learn about the industry, and find out, what did you do to get in that role? What are some good steps I can take? It's almost like you're building your own little mentorship around you of people that can help. And people love doing it. I mean, and even if you got to throw them $5-10 on an Amazon card, if it's someone high level and you go, man, I'd spend $10 to get a hold of them for 5 minutes. Do something like that. People remember that. People remember when you take them out to lunch. Yeah,
absolutely. So you've come on to what was going to be my last question. I'm kind of conscious of time, but do you have any workarounds, any backdoor ways that candidates can get themselves noticed, whether that's on LinkedIn or anywhere else?
Absolutely. So the one I just mentioned is a good one. That's that kind of offering a iced coffee, if you will, maybe like I said, an incentive, $10 for Amazon if I can pick your brain. The other one I really like is the social media aspect. So companies that manage their social media online, there's usually a department or a few people that are kind of doing these publications and content postings. And so what you want to do is start interacting and start sharing or liking and discussing with these people and giving your insight on this topic and what you believe. And the more you become an advocate for that brand or that company, somebody on the other end is going to notice. And so that's going to be key for you to maybe find different backdoor entrances rather than just applying online, which I'm fine with applying online still, because as a former recruiter, those applications come to me in my world every night. And so I get excited to see if there's anybody new and worthwhile. On top of that, now you're in their system at that company, in their applicant tracking system. So applying online is still good, but you got to do some different creative thinking on your job hunting approach. So start strategizing. What are really cool things people are doing to find work these days? And there's Google articles about these things all over the place. So do some research and, again, advocate for the brand. And doing so through social media nowadays is so much easier than 20 years ago, where no one knew what the heck Facebook was. So it didn't even exist. So use this to your advantage. These tools are just phenomenally efficient.
Fantastic. Matt's been some really great advice today. Thank you ever so much for your time. If anyone would like to find out more, is there a website address, any contact details you'd like to share?
Absolutely. They can go to jobstickers.com. It's like pot stickers, but job stickers. And that'll go to my blog, which is embedded in my website. So you can get all my service information there.
Fantastic. Thanks ever so much for your time. Have a great rest of the week, everyone. Bye for now.